Um, Welcome everybody to the second of our virtual classroom sessions, where we get a chance to come together as a group and I answer any questions that you've got. So at the moment, we're looking like a very small and elite group of people. So just so I know who's here, if you can just put your hand up on the left-hand side of your control panel, it would be great to know that you're here and that you're ready to get started. Brilliant. Good. Great to see you here. Yeah, I know it's tough to get to your computer or your laptop on a Wednesday night, a cold, wintry, coming up to Christmas Wednesday night, and I really honour your commitment that you're making to this course and getting yourselves the kind of work that you want to jump out of bed for. So I'd like to make a start, as I said I would every time, by doing a little bit of a reflection, just so that we can shake off the stuff of the day and the problems there might have been at work, maybe with family, and just be present in this moment, in this group. So I'm going to invite you just to close your eyes and just sit yourself in a nice, comfortable position with your feet on the ground. And I'm going to invite you now just to take a few gentle breaths, not changing the breath, just noticing the way that your breathing naturally is. And how when we pay attention to it, we find it might naturally slow down a little. You can help yourself to get into a calmer state by putting your feet flat on the floor, maybe your hands gently resting in your lap. Let your shoulders relax. Sorry about that. And while you're in this nice meditative state, I invite you just to start to notice that your breath comes in your nose and out of your mouth. In your nose and out of your mouth. See if you can notice what thoughts are coming in and distracting you, and just let them go. You might like to imagine putting them in a cloud and just letting them float off into the sky. When another thought comes into your mind, just say thank you, but I'm not thinking about you right now, and let it float off. And in the space, I'm now going to invite you just to step in to the vision that you created at the very beginning of this course, your career vision. You might have been revisiting this every day, in which case, fantastic. But if not, here's a moment and a chance just to check back in with it. Just put yourself there. Remember how fantastic that place felt. How fulfilled and happy you felt there. Step right back into that moment when you felt so confident and sure that this was what you could have. How does that feel? Just be there for a minute. Hold that wonderful feeling. Notice it. Where do you feel it in your body? What's happening for you? Now I invite you to bottle that feeling. And when the gremlins start kicking in, when you start thinking, I can't do this, I'll never get there. This isn't right for me anyway. I haven't got time. I'm so behind. I invite you to step back into that confident, happy and fulfilled feeling from your career vision. And you'll be amazed by how that changes your frame of mind. So now we're going to come out of that visualization. Just take a minute to give yourself a little stretch. Come back into the room. Now I see some people have come along to the webinar. Just say hello if you've joined us during that visualization by putting your hand up with on the control panel, just so that I know you're here. Great, got some new people. We're still a very nice small group today. So I invite those of you who are a bit late just to take a minute, just close your eyes for a sec. We've just stepped back into our career vision, and I just invite you to do that for a minute so that you use the power and energy and focus of that wonderful, happy, fulfilled moment to propel you through the next 2 weeks of this course. So while you're doing that, the people that have just arrived, I need to apologise to everybody for not getting the recording of the last session out until a week and a half later. I'm so sorry. I hope I'm going to get it right this time, and I intend to get the recording out on Friday this time. So just a couple of days to wait. It just recorded in a strange format, and I didn't know what to do with it. But anyway, it's all a learning for me as well as for you, I think, at the moment. So, how's everyone doing? Do you want to just drop me a little message into the question box? How are you getting on? Now, no one's actually told me that they can hear me yet. Can someone just do that for me? Just to say, I can hear you. I'm just sending a message saying, can everyone hear me? Because nobody is answering my questions. So let's just get that sorted out. So someone just let me know. Someone's saying, I can hear you, but it's very staccato. Is it too poor quality to carry on? Okay, a couple of people saying, no, it's all right, actually. It's okay. So great, I'm going to carry on. Hopefully the recording will miss out some of this staccato-ness, and I will do my best to speak right into the microphone. So I asked that question again. How's everybody getting on with the course? Just drop me a couple of words into the box so we can share with each other our successes and share with each other where we're at. So, okay. Yeah, I'm generally getting the feeling that people haven't quite made it to module 4. That's absolutely fine. Still only on module 2. That's fine too. Module 3, we're really enjoying it. That's great. How are you finding it in terms of the amount of work that each module creates? I'm really aware that module 4 has been really quite full on. It doesn't sound like anyone's actually got there yet, so maybe that delight is to come. But just give me a little bit of feedback on that. How are you finding the amount of home study required from each module? If anybody wants to talk to me at any point, just put your hand up as well so that we can have a little chat. Okay, so about right. Yeah, I think if you got up to module 2, it probably is about right, isn't it? Those two were pretty equal in amounts. Okay, someone who's got a bit further saying it feels like quite a lot. Okay, so we've got a kind of range of opinions here, which is what you would find really. But you know, I just keep saying it's your pace. Now that I've finally managed to get that recording out, everything is out there for you. The videos, the PDF downloads, sorry, there's a phone going off in this room, but we're just going to ignore that. And it's all there for you, and it doesn't matter when you do it. It's all there for you. Okay, would anybody like to ask me anything about where they've got to so far? Oh, yes, I've moved on. I'm actually on module 3, not module 2, says Lottie. So great, this is all good progress. Would anyone like to put their hands up and ask me any questions today? Because this is your opportunity. I've had a few questions come through. Lots of people haven't been able to make it today. I don't know what that reason is. It is tough to find time on a Wednesday night to do this. And of course, the recording's always there for you, so that's absolutely fine. But it does mean that there's not a lot of people on the call for live questions today. I've got lots of recorded questions that people have sent me. So put your hand up if you have something you'd like to talk through with me. Take advantage, the people that are on this call. Go for it. I'll just wait for hands up or questions in the box. While I do that, actually, I'm going to just move that phone out of this room. You can tell I'm a little bit of a novice at this, can't you? And didn't anticipate that. Okay, everyone's being really shy. That's fine though, I don't mind. We can use the time to answer the questions that have come through from other people. So I'm going to start with those, and then if you think of something you want to ask me, just drop a question into the box or raise your hand, because this really is your opportunity, especially since there's so few of you. You can actually get some coaching and really get me focused on what it is that you want me to help you with. Okay, but I'm going to go to the questions that have been sent me, because one of them I think is really relevant to lots of people. So the question is this: I'm so behind, it's making me feel really bad. Okay, first of all, I invite you guys to send a nice message of encouragement to Angela, who's feeling really behind. It's making her feel really bad. What do we want to say to her? Thank you. These are some great things coming in here. I'm behind too. Don't worry about it. Someone else has said, there's no such thing as behind. That's absolutely true. I really want to reiterate this. I know I'm being a bit boring about it, but on this course, there really is no such thing as behind. It looks like most of us are behind, says someone. Yeah. The way I've structured this course is so that there is no such thing as behind. Okay, everything is there for you. So Angela, please don't feel bad about it. Looks like all of us are behind, as Lottie is saying to us, and that kind of thinking is not going to serve you, is it? It's going to, if you're feeling bad about what you're doing, it's not going to be giving you that lovely positive energy that you need to be moving through with the program. You know, I've been doing a course myself recently, and one of the things that the leader of that course says is overwhelm is a choice. That we choose to feel overwhelmed by how much we've got to do. Now, obviously, it feels that that's not true, but I do think that is absolutely right. Feeling overwhelmed by what there is to do, judging yourself for falling behind, is a choice that you make. We can make a different choice. We can say, actually, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on in my life, and I'm going to do my best just to feel okay about this. I'll do it when I can. I really invite you to think about that this is a choice that you make. Remember that helpful self-talk from module 2. You can use it about this as well. So what kind of things do we need to be saying to each other? What would we like to say to Angela? Or what language, sorry, I've asked you that. What language would we like Angela to be using to herself to encourage her forward rather than feeling bad? Yeah, I'm doing really well. I'm making huge progress. That's fantastic. Even 5 minutes a day is worth doing. I think that's the other thing I'd like to say to you is, if you're feeling behind, just take 5 minutes every day to do something. It doesn't matter whether you spend an hour a day or 5 minutes a day, as long as you're taking some kind of action. And if you can use the principle of the eating of the frog, which I think we've talked about, yes, because I've sent it to you if you haven't had a chance to look at the bonus module, do so. This is really, really helpful for moving forward with these feelings about being behind. Eat That Frog is a principle from the book Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy, which is that when you eat the most ugly, disgusting, hideous and foul-tasting frog every morning, you will feel really good about the rest of your day, and you will have got the most important thing done. And the frog obviously is a metaphor for a piece of work that needs to be done. So you could choose to make your frog every day 5 minutes on this course, and you will feel so good when it's done. Anyone else got anything they'd like to say to Angela? yeah. Susan's saying she feels exactly the same, and it's good to know that other people are feeling like that too. Brilliant. But we're all making a commitment here in this group now to move forward, to put those feelings of badness behind us, to recognize what we're doing, and to move forward together. Now, someone's just made a really good point on here, which is it's hard to talk about personal stuff in front of other people. And I really recognize that. And this is why I don't have a live, this is why I don't have a Facebook page for you guys to work together as a group, because I thought that you might feel that it was hard to talk about personal stuff. And this is why it's absolutely fine for everyone to be as quiet as you want on here. If you want to put anonymous questions out here, I will answer them without saying your name. That's absolutely fine. I know some of you have got some quite unusual names, which you might recognize, but I think I said before, nobody knows anybody's, and I don't think anybody knows anyone on here. You're from really different organizations. But if you do want to send me a question where I don't say your name and I answer it, that's absolutely fine. But I really get that. And that's why I've arranged the webinars in this way, so that you can send me questions as well as talking live. Although I have to say, I love interacting live. I loved the last webinar that we did when I got to talk to quite a few of you. I think today everyone's going to be feeling a bit shy, feeling a little bit behind, but that's absolutely fine. There is absolutely no need to feel you need to speak live. Okay, so I'm going to, the invitation's there. Take it if you want it. I'll carry on now with some more questions that have come in for me. Okay. Let's have a look. Let's find the most interesting one. Okay. There's a question here about values, finding your core values. Now, I'm just wondering, has anyone actually managed to get on to Module 4 yet? Obviously, some people have that aren't here. I'm just looking, yeah. Module 4 is all about finding your core values, which are the things that you absolutely must have in your life in order to feel happy and fulfilled. And when you've identified what they are, you can really, it's so much easier to make decisions based on them. I don't want to spend too much time on it if nobody has got to Module 4 yet, because it won't make any sense. Can you just drop me a line to say whether you have managed to have a look at Module 4? Okay, looks like nobody has. Okay, well, you know what I think I might do is I might do that exercise with you that we do in Module 4, because there's no harm in me getting ahead with this, and it's such an interesting experience. Now, I'm a bit confused by this comment that's just come in. No, but I'm intrigued to see if they have hanged. Oh, if they have changed. Okay, so yeah, some people here have already looked at their core values, and it will be, yeah, really interesting. On the whole, your values stay the same over a period of time. Yeah, those of you who've done it before with me might find it a really interesting exercise. Okay, so my little brain's going tick, 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 thinking about the most useful thing to do here. Shall we do a core values exercise? I think we will. I'm going to invite everybody to do the exercise that comes from Module 4. It's a big module, I will tell you that now. So there is absolutely no harm in getting a little bit ahead with this. And I've no idea if I can coach a whole bunch of people on the phone without talking to anyone. But let's just see what happens. Okay, so I'm just going to get my my notes out for this so that I get this absolutely right, because they're really, really important. So I am going to talk to you just a little bit about what values are and why they're so important. I mean, like I said at the beginning of the earlier in this session, you know, values, your core values are really who you are, who you are. I always talk about them as being like that writing that runs through a stick of rock. It's just there all the way through you. And there's two little things that I probably need to say about values, which is that they're not who we want to be. They're not who we want to be, and people can get quite confused by this. And they also are not moral in any way. You know, it's not Nelson Mandela or Mother Teresa only who've got values. We've all got values, and we all live by our values, or not, or we don't live by our values. You know, even people that we would generally consider to be bad have them. And when you live your life by honouring about 4 or 5 things known as core values, you will find that you are happier and more fulfilled. Now, someone's just jotted into the question box, can you give us some examples of what a core value is? Would anybody like to have a guess at some core values that people might have? I will make some suggestions, but let's just see what you think at the moment. Yep. Connection. Yes. Creativity. Yes. Lovely. Inspiration. Yeah. These are absolutely what values are. Few more. Integrity, certainly. Love. That's an interesting one. Love and family are 2 core values that I encourage you not to worry about too much. It's incredibly hard to reject love and reject family as a core value, but by doing that, you can get a bit, your picture of your values can get a little bit distorted. Let's not worry about that too much at the moment. I don't want to talk too much in theory, but yeah, they are values. But for the purpose of this exercise that we're going to be doing in Module 4, and we'll make a start with today, it's probably best to just leave those for the time being. Okay, so I am going to invite you to have a think about what values someone quite famous might have. Who should we choose? Let's choose Nelson Mandela. He's a good one. Even though I've said that he's not the only person that's got values, he's quite a good person because it's quite clear what his values are. Has anyone got any suggestions for what Nelson Mandela's core values might be? Justice. Yes, absolutely. Someone's written family. Yes, possibly. Someone else has written integrity. Yes. What else? What other core values do you think Nelson Mandela has? Faith? Yep, very possibly. Speaking out. Risk-taking. Yeah, you bet. I mean, we don't know, do we, what Nelson Mandela's values might have been. But the reason I start with this kind of an exercise, which is actually a little bonus, I realise I haven't put this in the video, is someone like him, his values are just shining out so clearly. So we can see that those words that we've just said are very much part of who he is and how he acts, because our values totally influence the actions that we take. So if we have a little think about someone that they're famous that we know, it's much easier to think about what our own values might be. It really helps in this situation of looking for new work, because it really helps you to see where you're maybe dishonoring your core values in your current work. I often find people, when they come to me for one-to-one coaching, they really have lost my train of thought there. People come to me for one-to-one coaching, there are lots of things are happening for them at work that are dishonoring those really important core values that run through them like a stick of rocks. So maybe one of their values is human connection, but their organisation is full of strife and tension and difficulty. And they have to sit in a room, in an open plan room, full of people that don't talk to each other. That's not very nice for anyone, but it's particularly not nice if your absolutely top core value is human connection. I've been in a situation like that in an organisation that will remain nameless, and it was horrible, and I had to leave. And that it was very much around the dishonouring of that value, but I didn't know that at the time. So I'm going to invite you to start in a place where you were really honouring your values. This is my absolutely favourite way to uncover values. What some people do is they will give their people in this situation a list of core values. Now, I have given you one of those in Module 4, but I beg you not to look at it. That sounds like a weird thing to say. It's there if you get stuck. When you see a list of core values, you think, oh, I'll have those. I really like that. I'll have that value and that value and that value and that value. And they all look lovely. But actually, they might not be your very, very top values. Much better to start inside with what's going on inside. And the way to do that is to think about a time when you felt absolutely great, a peak time in your life. Yeah, there's a question here asking me to clarify. Is this place where we felt really happy, or should we only look on the value side? No, look at a time in your life when you felt really happy and fulfilled. Now I'm doing this slightly on the hoof, so I'm just going to ask a few questions and give you some time and silence to think. So I invite you to think of a time when you felt really happy and really fulfilled. It can be quite a short time, maybe just an afternoon when you were doing something specific that you loved. Or it can be a longer time, maybe when you lived overseas or a year at university, something like that. So I just invite you to step into that time and see if you can come up with what was going on there that made you feel so good. Don't worry about identifying the values just yet. What was going on in that time that made you feel so good? Just send me a few comments in your box if you'd like to. What was going on in that time that made you feel so good? It's quite likely that there might be more than one time that you're thinking about. That's absolutely fine. It doesn't matter at all. We're just trying to get into that moment of feeling really good and really fulfilled. It may be that you're honouring the same values in those two different times, and it may be that you can pull out different values from those different times. Yeah, question here. Don't worry about the values at the moment. Just get stepping into that time. What was it about it that made you feel so happy and so fulfilled? Right, so someone's written here, I felt really happy because I was among people that I loved and I was doing something that I'm really good at. Wow, that's pretty important, right? That was really honouring yourself there. I felt full of joy because I had no responsibilities for difficult things. Yeah, being carefree, feeling free. That might be something to think about for your particular value, the person who wrote that. I was really enjoying being part of a team. Another comment that's been put in a box. Yeah. So all sorts of things coming up here. I was feeling free without responsibility. I was enjoying being part of a team. I was with people that I really loved. And I was doing something that I was really good at. Brilliant. Just jot down, if you've got a piece of paper there, 3 to 5 words that sum up what was going on for you there. Again, don't worry about whether these are values or not. Just write down so that you can step back into that peak moment if you ever want to. Okay, I'm going to carry on with this because no one's sent me any other questions. No one's put their hand up to ask questions, so I'm just presuming everyone's happy. If you're not, jot me a note. But I'm just going to carry on with this values exercise. It's really nice to do, and it seems to be working quite well with everybody. So you're saving yourself a little time on module 4. Okay. So does anyone need any more time to just jot down the key things about their peak moment? Brilliant. In module 4, there's actually a little sheet for you to jot this stuff down, and in the video, it talks you through how to do this in a little bit more detail. But obviously, you can use that information that you've got there to create something a little bit more interesting than just a sheet of notes. You could create some kind of visual that reminds you of that peak moment. It's completely up to you, but it's really worth jotting those few things down. Okay, so let's have a think. Has anyone got any ideas for what values of theirs might have been being honoured in this particular time? Just have a look at your notes. Step back into that peak moment. Let me know when you think you might have identified a value. And then I'm going to show you a really clever little technique for clarifying whether it is a value or not and testing whether it's a value. Wow, someone's moving on really fast here. I'm not going to say your name again, but she says, interestingly, they're very similar to before, but the order has changed. That's interesting. So she's working fast here. She's got her values out there and she's got them in an order. And that's fair enough because this particular person who's doing this course has worked with me before. So she's done quite a lot of work on her values already. I'll be interested to see though whether your order really has changed. We'll come on to that. Anyone else want to say what their values are? Lovely. I think I'm honouring the value of creativity, says someone. I'd love to hear what you're doing in the peak moment. Learning. I think I seem to be honouring the value of learning. Yeah, it sounds like it. Yeah, on a course. I'm struggling to keep up with these comments now. Brilliant. So learning is definitely a value, isn't it? Creativity. What else has people written here? Kindness. Yeah, interesting. Service. Brilliant. You're doing fantastically. I'm impressed. I think for most of you, this is a fairly new way of thinking about things. And I tell you, this is the beginning of a really exciting journey, because it really helps you unfold yourself before your eyes to see who you really are and what's important to you. When I discovered my core values, life really changed for me, and I found decision making so much easier. I just found I knew what to do in any moment. If I wasn't feeling good, what would I have to do? Brilliant. I've just noticed the time. My goodness. I really want to get to onto testing out these values. So, has everybody got a value that they think they might have been honouring? Yes. Yes. Good. Okay. Possibly. Try them out. It doesn't matter if you're not sure. Just try it out. Okay. So write that value down. And I'm going to ask you 3 coachly questions. I'm going to coach you all on clarifying whether that value that you've identified, choose one of them, the one you probably feel the most safest about, the one that you think really probably is a core value. We're going to try it out. So it's a very specific question. I don't just say to you, what does this value mean? People tend to go off down all sorts of roads when I ask that question. I want you to ask a very, very answer to yourself or to me in the box, or put your hands up. What does this value provide me with? What does this value provide me with? I'm just sending you that question. So I'm going to just give you a minute to jot a few thoughts down. And if anybody wants to tell me, please do, because that will encourage other people who are feeling a bit more stuck. Great. The value of creativity provides me with a feeling that I can contribute. Wow, that's brought goosebumps up to my arms. I'm such a softie. I love this values work when people have these revelations. Oh, yes, absolutely. And I know the person who sent that too, and I think that is absolutely right. The value of connection, value of connecting. Sorry, I don't quite understand that. Can you just send that again? I've got 2 people talking to me about connection. I'm getting a bit confused. who said what. I'm just going to go back to the first person who mentioned it. Right. So the value of connection provides me with a feeling that I really matter. Oh, that's another one that's given me goosebumps. When you get your goosebump moments, you absolutely know that you have hit upon a core value. If it feels, answering this question feels like wading through treacle, you probably haven't hit upon a core value because it's not singing to you. You're looking for language that sings to you. So here's an answer where someone's really got a lot of ideas here. The value looks like teamwork or possibly human connection. Now, I would say see if you can work out whether that's one value or whether that's two. I would have thought that was two different values, human connection and teamwork. Anyway, she says what this provides for her, what this gives her is stimulus, inspiration, contribution. So just check in with that contribution. What does it provide you with? The opportunity to contribute. Just go back to that question really carefully. It provides her with a feeling of being part of something bigger, the opportunity to help and share. Yeah, these are absolutely key things that a core value will provide you with. Great. So it looks like teamwork is the value here. Nice one. I am so impressed with what is coming out here. Some people have never done this before, as far as I'm aware. And the way you've all honed in on that question, what does it provide me with? The things that are coming out, I count, it helps me to see that I matter. It provides me with the opportunity to do the things that I was born to do. Wow. Okay, so that's the first question. And I encourage you when you go on to module 4 to do this again and go back to this value that you're looking at now and asking my absolutely favorite self-coaching question, what else, what else, what else? Don't let yourself just write a couple of things down. What else, what else, what else lets you get deeper and deeper and deeper into that writing that is running through you like a stick of rock. But for the time being, because I want to get all these questions asked, I'm going to move you on. So the next question is, what do I have to do in order to experience this value? I'm going to write the question down. What do I have to do in order to experience this value? These questions are in module 4, by the way. Have a think about that. What actions do you have to take in order to experience that fantastic feeling that you've been telling me about? Yep, it's always the first question. I have to be creative. That's right. You have to be the action. But I want you to dig deeper than that. So what do you have to do in order to be creative, in order to experience that wonderful feeling that being creative gives you? Any more thoughts from anyone? I have to be mindful and notice what I'm doing. That's a great action. Yeah, absolutely. If we go around being completely unaware of what's going on, we're not noticing when we're honouring our values, and we're not noticing the impact that they have. That's a great one. What about in terms of work and career? Someone's answered that question as I said it. I have to ensure that I find people who I feel I can be part of a team with. Yeah. So if your value is, I've forgotten what it is now, teamwork, it's not just any old team, is it? It's a team of people that you value and appreciate. So maybe that team of people will be honouring other values as well. Integrity, honesty, openness, I don't know. So it's not just any old team. It's a team of people that you want to connect with. Great. And that's an interesting one, because if you can't find the people you want to be in a team with, and you have to work in a team with people that you're not so bothered about, at least the recognition that you are slightly dishonouring that value might send you off to look for that real teamwork elsewhere. You might choose to provide yourself with that value outside work. Now, obviously, on this course, we're talking about what we're trying to do in work, and I do believe that that is a great place to really honour your values. But it may be that there is a kind of interim plan where, for the time being, you're looking for that thing that you really want to be doing, but for the time being, you can be recognising that you're in a team that's not actually honouring your values. But that's okay, because you're going to do it elsewhere. I find just having that understanding and knowledge is enough to make you feel better about a situation that doesn't quite work. So let's have a couple more. What do I have to do in order to experience this value? I have to have fun. Brilliant. So I presume the value is fun, is it? Yeah. So obviously then, what do you mean? What kind of fun? What is that fun? One of my values is fun, and I love it. It's a great value, and it's so easy to think of ways to honour it. Just today, I just picked myself up by dancing to Happy by Pharrell Williams. That's the kind of thing we're looking for here. Okay, there's a few other things coming in now. Tell them me too. I don't quite understand that comment. If you want to, if it's important, just send it to me again. Any more? Okay, I'm going to lead you on to the third question then, which is very subtly different to that second one, but may come up with similar things. So the question is, what must happen in order to experience this value? So whereas the second question was about what do I have to do, this one is what must happen in order to experience this value. So in other words, what has to happen out there? It's stuff that's sometimes a little bit out of your control. So for instance, with the teamwork one, what must happen is people I want to work with have to want to work with me too. And it's really worth noticing these things as well. So what must happen in order to experience this value? It's harder, isn't it? Oh. Yeah, it's a great song, isn't it? Lottie says she likes Happy too. And Susan. And in fact, a few people. Yeah, well, it's such a great song. I recommend listening to that every day, actually. It's very hard to feel unhappy when you listen to that. And I'm so glad that one of my values is fun, so that I really can do that. Okay, I'm not getting many answers here for what has to happen. So the kind of things are, what has to happen, say, for me to honour my value of fun? Other people have to want to have fun too. Okay, I can't just listen to Pharrell Williams all the time on my own. If really honouring that value, I need to be doing it with other people as well. Yeah, here's a good example here. in order to honour the value of integrity, other people need to have integrity as well. Yes, and that's a brilliant example of something I need to say before we wind up. Your values are two-way streets, right? If you honour fun, creativity, integrity, connection in yourself, you also recognise and honour and value it in other people. So it's often one of the reasons why we feel so awkward and difficult about some people is because they don't seem to be honouring the values that you are. And once you know that, it's so much easier to feel kind and compassionate towards people at work that you have a problem with. They will have their own values. Ah, right, I get it. Fun is one of my values. That's what she's saying. Not that happy is one of her favourite songs. Ah, there's such an opportunity for misunderstandings in this webinars. Great. Well, I'm going to leave you to think about that question a little more. What must happen in order to experience this value? And you will get a chance when you get onto module 4 to think really deeply. Keep asking what else, what else, what else, what else. And I so look forward when we talk again to hearing how everyone gets on with that one. With the values exercise. This is probably the most important thing you can do in the whole of this course. So really worth putting the time and energy into it. So this virtual classroom session was a little bit different from what I was expecting today, although I did wonder whether in week 2, the session 2, we might find this that people were not wanting to come up and talk about where they were at. But I really appreciate the comments that people have been sending and the obvious engagement and enjoyment you've had in this experience. So thank you very much. I will get the recording to you on Friday. Is there anything anybody wants to say in the next minute or so before we go? It's been really good to do this together, says someone. Huge thanks, Katie. This session worked really well. It's great to actually go through the tasks together. Yeah, loved doing the values. Brilliant. Okay, this is interesting. See, I'm learning how to do these webinars for you. Yeah, we can do this again. We've only got one more actually, which is in a couple of weeks' time. So maybe we can do a bit of both. Bring your questions, and we'll do one of the exercises as well. Because I agree, it's worked nicely, and I'm surprised because I thought I'd want everyone to be asking me questions live, but actually this has been great. So thank you very, very much for your time and your commitment. I say this every time. I'm so in awe of your commitment to looking at yourselves and coming up with things that really matter and that changes you want to make, and working towards making the absolute best contribution you can to the world, which you are all doing beautifully. So thank you so much, and see you in a couple of weeks. Bye.